guys? Ray Ray's Landscaping. It is New Year's Eve, and kind of wanted to. So what's up? Hope everybody's safe tonight and all that. So kind of wanted to talk to you guys today. Trying to come up with some topics in the videos, man, that I've learned over the years that that I can just tell, you know, what I did or how I did, you know, not that this is the right way or the wrong way, but that's just how I do things. I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, making the transition from lawn care to, you know, Bobcat, skid steer work. You know, I've been doing the lawn so long, I gotta be honest, y'all, it's not very challenging to me anymore, you know. And you know, it's hardcore seasonal if you just stay with lawns. Gotta go out past lawns. I mean, lawns are good, very lucrative, grateful to have them. I don't see me ever getting out of the lawn business per se, but I do see me making money in other ways, you know, besides doing lawn work. So a few years ago, you know, I just kept having to be super smart with my money for the summertime, because the wintertime would come along and, you know, I would just be treading water and not really excelling. And then by the time the season got, you know, we got into the growing season the following year, I'd be broke. I'm talking about I would be broke by then, and a lot of stress along the way in the wintertime. So that's kind of what got me to thinking, okay, what can I do that's in the same realm of work, give or take, you know, that I can use mostly the same tools that I use in my lawn care business, to where I can, you know, buy a piece of equipment and hope it gets me through the winter, or, you know, it needs to get me through the winter. Of course, whenever you go into October, November, and you go to spending $20,000 or $25,000 or even more if you got a new one, it's always scary, because you know that's gonna put all your money on the line, and I wouldn't recommend that to everybody. It's not for everybody for sure, because my stress level was sky high, you know, right after I made the Bobcat purchase, because I didn't have any money, and nothing could go wrong, you know. But during the summer, who has time to research and all that on, you know, a Bobcat, you know? And I didn't really care if it was a Bobcat name brand or not. It doesn't matter. You know, I wasn't gonna, you know, not buy one because of the name. So after you know 10 years or so, 9 or 10 years or so in the lawn game, is when I decided, the whole time I've been struggling to get through the winter almost, you know, just some years a little bit harder than other years, you know, and I'm pretty resourceful too, you know, when it comes to setting up jobs for the wintertime. But anyway, I did research on the Bobcats, and I just searched, but I went into the summer of 2018 hoping that I could make enough money to purchase a Bobcat at the end of 2018. I was gonna do it in 2017, but I had some truck issues and everything, and I had to buy a mower that season. So it has a lot to do with the timing and all too, you know. In 2017, I had to buy a mower, and that was $13,500. And once I spent that $13,500, I just couldn't come off the money for a Bobcat. You know, I just couldn't. And you know, where I was at in my business then, not knowing. You know, I don't never buy a piece of equipment if I ain't sure I can make money with it, or at least get my money back. So just saying, you know, I don't spend my money on stuff that I might make $1 or $2 on. I spend my money on things that I am pretty confident that I can at least get the money that the machine equipment cost back relatively quick. When I bought the Bobcat, I already had about $10,000 worth of work lined up because I had been planning all summer, you know, to purchase a Bobcat. I told all my customers as I was on their lawns, doing the lawns, I would tell them, hey, you know, I'm buying a Bobcat. I'm going to try to buy a Bobcat this off season, so you got any work? And so yeah, that's how I kind of knew that I would at least be able to make 10K back pretty quick, given that the machine didn't, you know, I didn't buy a lemon. So, and I didn't buy a lemon. It's a great machine. It's had a few little things going on with it, but it's all hydraulic stuff. It's nothing major deep, you know, hydraulic lines bust. I mean, that's going to happen on a Bobcat, you know. So that's you know, for me to not make it. So if you're out there, dude, and you can't make it through the winter, and you're thinking about buying a Bobcat, well, a couple things you need to consider before you do that. Just some things that I ran into, you know. Number one is you got to have a trailer that can haul it and a truck that can pull that trailer. And if you don't have, if you got a 150 and you got a lawn trailer, you ain't ready for a Bobcat, you know. I started out with mine with putting on my dump trailer. I bought the skid steer based on the specs of my dump trailer. So because it was a trailer I already had. So I mean, why would I go out and buy a trailer at the same time, you know, having to buy a machine? And there's no point in buying a machine unless you got a trailer or you are going to be getting one soon thereafter. That's a big deal. You know, no point in having a Bobcat and you got all that money in it and you can't take it nowhere. You know, that's bad business. So you have to wait. That's kind of what I did in 2017. I realized in 2017, in the fall of 2017, that I wasn't going to be able to get a Bobcat that summer. But I knew that in 2018 that was my goal, to get a Bobcat in the off season, providing that nothing major broke during the 2018 summer. That's always something you got to be thinking about. My thing is, I wanted to buy the Bobcat and I wanted to make a couple $1,000s back, put it back in the bank, and then kind of just learn how to run the machine. Yeah, I know. Everybody thinks they can run a Bobcat. I know, yeah. I know everybody thinks that, well, you know, just get on it and you know, and run it, you know, foot controls, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's what I thought too, until I bought one. Well, there's a whole lot of learning that you have to do, a lot of learning, you know, when it comes to the operation and maintaining and all that with a skid steer. There's quite a learning curve. Anybody can get in there and mechanically move it around and stuff. That's not a problem. Anybody can do that. But can you get on it and have a specific task and do that specific task in a timely fashion and understand what the machine can and can't do if you've never had one before? So, you know, making the transition from lawn care to Bobcat or skid steer work or something that's a little more lucrative in the wintertime, well, it was a no-brainer after about 8 years or so of being in the lawn business. You know, everybody, you know, people said, you know, I've had a lot of people comment and they're saying, you know, man, I wish I was scared to spend the money, or my old lady won't let me, or, you know, blah, blah, you know. But at the end of the day, it makes more sense. Just think about it. It makes more sense to buy a piece of machinery like that, you know, like a Bobcat or, you know, whatever. As long as, you know, you've got work and you can generate work for it. It makes more sense to buy a piece of machinery than a truck, you know. Though you need a truck, but it makes more sense, or a new car, or anything like that, you know, because they hold their value better than a vehicle does. You know, number one, if you have a Bobcat and you figure out, okay, I don't like it, I'm not going to be able to make a living at it, or for whatever reason, you know, can't get enough work or whatever. Well, you can sell it and you ain't going to take no big hit, you know. Surely, if you decided to buy a Bobcat in the first place, you already had a little bit of work, you know, lined up anyway. So if you buy the Bobcat and you can't keep it busy for whatever reason, other than a mechanical thing, for whatever reason, then you can just sell it, and you probably are not going to take a big hit unless there's some major mechanical problems going on with it. You're not going to take no hit, especially if you made any money with it to begin with when you first got it. So, you know, well, Ray, no, I won't be able to get my money back. Well, yeah, you will, because if it's based on the hours, you know, if you get a machine and you don't put put very little hours on it, well, the value is going to be about the same as it was when you bought it. Again, unless there's a mechanical thing going on. So you'll be able to sell it. Well, what if you put a whole bunch of hours on it? Well, if you put a whole bunch of hours on it, that means you done got some money. You done got paid. You know, you done earned with it for it to lose any value. You know, say you get one that's got 1,000 hours on it, and well, if you put 200 hours on it, you're probably still going to be able to get your money back, you know, that you paid for it with 1,000 hours. Now, if you put 1,000 hours on it, well, if you put 1,000 hours on it, you're making money on them hours, and you ain't gonna want to sell it, you know. So, to me, it just makes more sense to buy a piece of equipment, given that you are in this line of work, than it does to buy, well, hell, damn near anything, as far as a big investment goes. So don't be scared, you know. Of course, I was scared and I was a little nervous, and I was all of those things when I bought this skid steer. But I had to get past that in my own head, you know. So, you know, going from, you know, just big lawnmowers and, you know, renting a skid steer every now and then, to owning your own, well, it can change the game for you. And it's all good. I mean, I don't see it changing the game for you bad unless you buy a limit or something, you know. Do your proper research and all. At least I did. You know, if you buy a messed up machine, well, that's the chance you're taking. Well, if you get a machine and it's valued at what it's supposed to be valued at, and it is what it is, then you shouldn't have a problem getting your money back if you want to get out of the business. You know, given that you don't tear it up, drop it off a trailer, or, you know, run it low on oil, or, you know, whatever. So that's just a couple of my little thoughts on, you know, transitioning and the thought process from, you know, cutting grass to hardscape and landscape and, you know, Bobcat skid steer work. So this is Ray, and I'll catch back up with you. All right, y'all, that's a wrap, man. I got it all done as much as I'm gonna do today anyway. It is what, 3:30? See what I mean? See over there? I mean, I just made $400, man. You know, every time I take my machine over there, I make $400. So that's $400 a day that I have made over there for the last 5 days straight. And I probably put maybe $100 in fuel, you know, and I'm not spending a whole day over there by no means. I'm only staying over there about 4 hours or so, 5 hours. So yeah, I mean, there's money to be made with these things, man. Money to be made, man. No grass, no lawns, no worry. I mean, who'd ever thunk it? That's what we say down south, thunk it. Yeah. We say that down here in the south. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go home, headed to the house, gonna pull up there, and I'll edit the little videos and try to put some good content out for you guys. Everybody have a happy new year, and all y'all knuckleheads out there, y'all damn be careful tonight. Don't act a fool, don't get in no trouble, all that. See ya.